The true story of JonBenét Ramsey. JonBenét Patricia Ramsey was a 6-year-old beauty queen whose tragic and mysterious death became one of the most infamous cold cases in American history. Born on August 6, 1990, in Atlanta, Georgia, JonBenét was the youngest child of John and Patsy Ramsey. The family moved to Boulder, Colorado, where they lived a life of affluence. JonBenét was a vibrant and charismatic child who participated in child beauty pageants, winning numerous titles. Her seemingly idyllic life came to a shocking end on December 26, 1996. The events unfolded the day after Christmas when Patsy Ramsey discovered a handwritten ransom note on the staircase, claiming JonBenét had been kidnapped. The note demanded $118,000, a figure eerily close to John Ramsey's recent work bonus, and warned the family not to contact the police. Despite the note, Patsy immediately called 911, and police arrived at the scene. However, their home quickly became a chaotic crime scene, with friends and family coming and going, inadvertently contaminating evidence. Later that day, John Ramsey discovered JonBenét's body in the basement. She had been strangled with a garrote made from a paintbrush handle and suffered a severe head injury. A piece of duct tape covered her mouth, and her wrists were loosely bound. The discovery turned the investigation into a homicide case, and suspicions began to mount. From the start, the case was plagued by controversy. Law enforcement and the public scrutinized the ransom note, which was unusually long and appeared to have been written using paper from the Ramsey home. Many questioned whether the note was genuine or staged. The lack of forced entry and the presence of JonBenét's body within the house led investigators to suspect someone within the family might be responsible. John and Patsy Ramsey, along with their 9-year-old son Burke, faced intense media scrutiny and public suspicion. The case also attracted attention for its mishandled investigation. The crime scene was not properly secured, and critical evidence may have been lost or compromised. Over time, investigators explored numerous theories, including the possibility of an intruder. Supporters of this theory pointed to a broken basement window and unidentified male DNA found on JonBenét's clothing. However, the source of the DNA was never determined. Despite the family's denials, the Ramseys remained under a cloud of suspicion for years. In 1999, a grand jury voted to indict John and Patsy Ramsey for child endangerment and obstruction of the investigation. But the district attorney declined to pursue charges, citing insufficient evidence. Patsy Ramsey passed away in 2006 from cancer, maintaining her innocence until the end. In 2008, new DNA testing seemed to clear the Ramseys when the unknown male DNA was confirmed not to belong to any family member. Yet, the case remained unsolved. Over the decades, JonBenét's murder has been the subject of countless books, documentaries, and theories. Was it an intruder, or was the tragedy a family cover-up? Despite advances in forensic science, the true story of what happened to JonBenét Ramsey remains a haunting and unsolved mystery. Her case continues to captivate and baffle the world, leaving behind a legacy of questions that may never be answered. The enduring fascination with JonBenét Ramsey's case lies in its complexity and the numerous unanswered questions that surround it. The sheer volume of evidence, combined with its contradictions, has spawned a range of theories. True crime enthusiasts, investigators, and journalists have pored over every detail, yet no definitive answers have emerged. One prominent theory centers on the idea of an intruder. Supporters of his theory point to a partially broken window in the basement, which could have served as an entry point. Additionally, evidence of a shoe print near JonBenét's body and the unidentified male DNA on her underwear suggest the possibility of an unknown assailant. A neighbor also reported hearing a scream on the night of the murder, lending credibility to the idea that someone from outside the family might have been responsible. However, the intruder theory is not without its flaws. Critics argue that there were no clear signs of forced entry, and the ransom note's length and specificity seem inconsistent with the behavior of an outside kidnapper. This has led some to speculate that the note was staged to mislead investigators. The other major theory involves the family. Critics of the Ramseys point to the fact that the ransom note was written on Patsy's notepad with a pen from the home. Additionally, some forensic handwriting analysts suggested similarities between Patsy's writing and the note. Though this evidence was inconclusive, those who suspect family involvement argue that JonBenét's death may have been the result of an accident, possibly during a moment of anger or discipline, and that the staging of the scene was an attempt to cover it up. Burke Ramsey, JonBenét's older brother, has also been the subject of speculation, particularly following his behavior in interviews in a controversial television special that implied he might have been involved. Burke has consistently denied any involvement, and his parents always defended him against accusations. Despite the advances in forensic technology and the persistence of investigators, no suspect has ever been charged. The DNA evidence discovered on JonBenét's clothing, while significant, has never been matched to any known individual. Critics have argued that the presence of this DNA could be due to contamination from the manufacturing process rather than a direct link to the killer. In recent years, advancements in DNA technology, including the use of genetic genealogy, have reignited hope that the case could still be solved. Similar techniques were used to identify the Golden State Killer decades after his crimes, leading many to wonder if JonBenét's murderer might one day be brought to justice. JonBenét's story is a heartbreaking reminder of the fragility of life and the lasting impact of unresolved crimes. While her family continues to maintain their innocence and grieve her loss, the world holds on to the hope that one day, the truth will emerge. Until then, JonBenét's case remains one of the most haunting and enduring mysteries of our time. The JonBenét Ramsey case has also become a reflection of how media and public scrutiny can shape the narrative of a criminal investigation. From the moment the news broke, the media frenzy surrounding the case was unparalleled. JonBenét's beauty pageant photos, often showing her in glamorous outfits with styled hair and makeup, became the focal point of the coverage. Many criticized this portrayal, arguing that it sensationalized her life and death while overshadowing the investigation. The intense media attention turned the Ramsey family into household names. But it also came at a cost. Public opinion was heavily influenced by tabloid stories and speculation, much of which cast the family in a negative light. Patsy Ramsey, in particular, became a polarizing figure. Her composure during media appearances and the perceived oddities in her behavior led some to suspect her involvement, despite a lack of concrete evidence. The case also revealed systemic flaws in law enforcement and forensic practices. The Boulder Police Department faced significant criticism for their handling of the initial investigation. Key pieces of evidence were not properly secured, and the crime scene was compromised as friends, family, and investigators moved freely through the home. These early missteps likely hindered efforts to solve the case and have been a source of frustration for those seeking justice for JonBenét. Over the years, the case has inspired numerous documentaries, books, podcasts, and television specials, each offering new theories and analyses. Some have focused on forensic evidence, while others have explored psychological profiles of potential suspects. Despite the overwhelming attention, no theory has been universally accepted, and many questions remain unanswered. One of the most compelling aspects of the case is its enduring mystery. How could such a high-profile crime, with so much evidence and public attention, remain unsolved for nearly 3 decades? The lack of closure has left a lasting impact not only on the Ramsey family but also on the broader public. JonBenét's story has become a symbol of the limits of justice and the human desire for answers. The Ramsey family has tried to move forward with their lives. John Ramsey has spoken out in recent years, expressing hope that advancements in DNA technology might one day solve the case. Burke Ramsey has also addressed the case publicly, notably in a 2016 interview, though his comments reignited public debate rather than providing clarity. For many, JonBenét's case is not just about the tragedy of her death but also about the broader societal issues it highlights. It raises questions about the role of the media, the pressures of public opinion, and the challenges of balancing sensational stories with responsible reporting. It also underscores the importance of improving forensic science and investigative techniques to prevent similar failures in the future. As of now, JonBenét's story remains unfinished. While the passage of time has made solving the case more challenging, it has not extinguished the hope that one day, her killer will be identified, and her family and the public will finally find the closure they seek. Until then, JonBenét Ramsey's legacy will remain a poignant reminder of a life lost too soon and a mystery that continues to haunt us. The lasting impact of the JonBenét Ramsey case extends far beyond the tragedy itself. It has become a cultural touchstone, highlighting both the fascination with true crime and the broader implications of unsolved cases on families, communities, and justice systems. Advances in investigative technology. One of the few silver linings in the JonBenét case has been the advancements in forensic science that it has helped spotlight. In the decades since 1996, the use of DNA evidence has grown exponentially. The unidentified male DNA found on JonBenét's clothing has remained one of the most significant clues in the case. Although it has yet to lead to a match, new techniques like genetic genealogy, which has been used to solve cases such as the Golden State Killer, offer renewed hope. Advocates for justice in JonBenét's case have urged law enforcement to revisit this DNA evidence, using these advanced tools to search for relatives of the unknown male. These techniques could potentially bring new leads. Even after so many years, investigators and the Ramsey family remain cautiously optimistic that this cutting-edge technology could one day provide the answers they have been searching for. Public fascination and the legacy of true crime. The public's obsession with the JonBenét case has not waned. From documentaries and films to podcasts and social media discussions, the case has become a cornerstone of true crime culture. This ongoing attention has both positive and negative effects. On one hand, it keeps the case alive in the public consciousness, ensuring that it is not forgotten. On the other hand, it has subjected the Ramsey family to decades of scrutiny, accusations, and conspiracy theories. The case also raises ethical questions about the line between seeking justice and exploiting a tragedy. True crime media often walks a fine line, and the JonBenét case is a prime example of how sensational coverage can sometimes overshadow the humanity of the victim and her family. The emotional toll on the Ramsey family. For the Ramsey family, the loss of JonBenét was compounded by years of public suspicion and relentless media coverage. John Ramsey, who remains an advocate for solving the case, has spoken about the emotional toll it took on his family. Patsy Ramsey, who died in 2006, spent the last decade of her life under a cloud of suspicion. FTEN portrayed as a central figure in the case despite no conclusive evidence against her. Burke Ramsey, who was just 9 years old at the time of JonBenét's death, has largely stayed out of the public eye. Though he did participate in a controversial interview in 2016, the interview reignited debate and criticism, demonstrating how deeply the case remains entrenched in the public psyche. Hope for closure. Despite the challenges, the case remains open. Boulder law enforcement continues to review evidence, and private investigators and advocates remain determined to uncover the truth. JonBenét's case serves as a reminder of the importance of pursuing justice, no matter how much time has passed. JonBenét Ramsey's story is a heartbreaking tragedy that has shaped the landscape of true crime and forensic investigation. While the mystery remains unsolved, her case has led to significant discussions about justice, media responsibility, and the pursuit of truth. Her memory endures as a symbol of innocence lost and as a call to action to ensure that no case is forgotten. With continued advances in technology and persistent dedication from investigators, there is still hope that one day, the world will learn the truth about what happened to JonBenét Ramsey. Lessons from the JonBenét Ramsey case. The JonBenét Ramsey case offers important lessons in how criminal investigations are conducted, the role of the media, and the effects of public pressure on justice. From the initial mishandling of the crime scene to the aggressive focus on the Ramsey family, the case reveals how critical decisions made in the early stages of an investigation can have lasting consequences. 1. The importance of proper crime scene management. One of the most glaring issues in the investigation was the mishandling of the crime scene. When the police arrived at the Ramsey home, they failed to properly secure the area. Friends and family were allowed to move freely throughout the house, and evidence may have been contaminated. This lack of control over the scene made it difficult to determine what had occurred and compromised the integrity of the investigation. This case has since been used as a aching example in law enforcement training programs, emphasizing the importance of preserving evidence and controlling access to a crime scene. 2. The role of public perception and media. The media's role in shaping public perception of the case cannot be overstated. Early reports often framed the Ramsey family as suspects, leading to a trial by public opinion. Tabloid stories sensationalized JonBenét's beauty pageant participation, creating a narrative that detracted from the facts of the case. This intense scrutiny not only affected the family but also likely influenced investigators, who faced immense pressure to find answers quickly. The case underscores the need for balanced and responsible reporting, especially in high-profile investigations. 3. Advances in forensic science. The technological advancements that have emerged since 1996 could potentially solve cases like JonBenét's in the future. Techniques such as genetic genealogy, which combines DNA evidence with public ancestry databases, have revolutionized cold case investigations. While the unidentified male DNA found on JonBenét's clothing has not yet led to a match, there is hope that further advancements in forensic technology could provide the breakthrough needed. 4. The enduring impact of unsolved cases. Unsolved cases like JonBenét's have a profound impact not only on the victims' families but also on society at large. They leave lingering questions about justice, accountability, and closure. For the Ramsey family, the lack of resolution has meant living under suspicion while simultaneously grieving their loss. For the public, the case serves as a reminder of the limitations of the justice system and the complexity of criminal investigations. Remembering JonBenét. Amid the endless speculation, it is important Important to remember, JonBenét is more than just the center of a mystery. She was a 6-year-old girl with a bright future ahead of her, adored by her family and loved by her community. Her death was a senseless tragedy that has left an indelible mark on the world. The pursuit of justice for JonBenét Ramsey continues. Law enforcement, private investigators, and advocates remain committed to solving her case, holding on to the hope that one day the truth will come to light. Until that day, her story stands as a cautionary tale about the complexities of justice, the influence of public opinion, and the enduring quest for answers in the face of heartbreak. Thanks for watching. If you're captivated by true crime stories like this, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an update. Share your thoughts on the JonBenét Ramsey case in the comments below. What do you think happened that fateful night? Let's keep the discussion going.